Nuclear power has always sat at the center of the energy debate. Clean, powerful, and efficient, yet burdened with the risks of meltdowns, radioactive waste, and weapons proliferation. But what if there were a way to harness nuclear energy without those risks? A design so safe that it could shut itself down in emergencies, so clean that its waste becomes harmless in decades, not centuries, and so abundant that the fuel source could last thousands of years. Welcome to the world of thorium reactors, especially molten salt reactors. These next-generation nuclear technologies don't just represent incremental change. They could completely redefine how we power the world. From reducing radioactive waste to eliminating proliferation concerns, thorium-powered systems offer a radically safer and more sustainable way to meet global energy demand. Countries like China and India are already making significant investments. Startups across Europe and the US are prototyping commercial-ready models. And if breakthroughs continue, thorium could do for nuclear energy what lithium did for batteries. Before we proceed to the video, don't forget to hit the like button and ring the notification bell so you never miss our upcoming videos. Why thorium is so promising? Abundance beyond measure. Thorium-232 is about 3 to 4 times more common in Earth's crust than uranium. It's often found in monazite sands, a byproduct of rare earth mining, meaning we already have vast quantities available. Unlike uranium-235, thorium doesn't require extensive enrichment. It's fertile, not fissile, meaning it can absorb a neutron and become fissile uranium-233. This makes the thorium fuel cycle inherently more efficient and accessible, particularly for countries without native uranium supplies. Waste that doesn't last millennia. Traditional uranium reactors create transuranic elements, waste that remains radioactive for tens of thousands of years. Thorium-based reactors, particularly MSRs, produce significantly less long-lived waste. Many of the radioactive byproducts decay to background levels within 300 to 500 years, a time frame that's scientifically manageable for safe storage. Additionally, thorium reactors can be designed to burn existing nuclear waste, turning today's problem into tomorrow's power. Safer by design. One of the biggest concerns with conventional nuclear plants is meltdown risk. But MSRs operate at atmospheric pressure, using molten salt as both fuel carrier and coolant. In an emergency, the salt can be passively drained into a cooled containment tank where it solidifies, halting the chain reaction without human intervention. There's no high-pressure water system, no steam explosions, and no need for massive containment domes. Inherently non-proliferative. Because thorium reactors don't produce significant amounts of plutonium, they are far less useful for weapons production. Uranium-233, the fissile material bred from thorium, does have proliferation risks, but it is almost always contaminated with uranium-232, a highly radioactive isotope that's extremely difficult to handle, making weapons development virtually impossible without advanced infrastructure. How a thorium reactor actually works. Thorium reactors come in several designs, but the most promising is the molten salt reactor, MSR. Let's break it down. Step 1. Fuel conversion. Thorium-232 is introduced into the reactor, where it absorbs a neutron and eventually transforms into uranium-233, a fissile material. This process is called breeding. Step 2. Fission reaction. U-233 sustains a chain reaction, releasing large amounts of heat. This heat is transferred through the molten salt, which serves both as a coolant and a fuel carrier. Step 3. Energy transfer. The molten salt flows through a heat exchanger, transferring its energy to a secondary loop, typically non-radioactive, that powers steam turbines, producing electricity. Step 4. Passive safety. If overheating occurs, a plug at the bottom of the reactor melts and allows the salt to drain into subcritical tanks, where it naturally cools and solidifies. This is fail-safe by design, not reliant on pumps or external control systems. Real-world projects and experiments. China's Thorium Reactor in the desert. In 2021, China completed the TMSR-LF1, a 2-megawatt thermal molten salt thorium reactor located in the Gansu Desert. It's the world's first experimental MSR powered by thorium. According to reports from the Shanghai Institute of Applied Physics, this reactor achieved criticality and began testing under operational conditions. A larger 10-megawatt reactor is planned within the next 5 years. India's long-term strategy. India holds one of the world's largest thorium reserves and has built its nuclear strategy around it. The Advanced Heavy Water Reactor, AHWR, under development, is a solid-fuel thorium reactor expected to be operational in the late 2020s. Additionally, India already operates Kamini, the only reactor in the world currently using uranium-233. European innovation startups like Copenhagen Atomics in Denmark are designing modular molten salt reactors that could be deployed in industrial zones and ports. Their reactors are being designed for mass production with the aim of bringing down cost and accelerating deployment. U.S. and private sector companies like Thorcon, Flybe Energy, and Terrestrial Energy are building thorium-compatible MSRs with modular designs. Several have received Department of Energy support and are pushing for test reactors by 2027. What's holding thorium back? Materials and corrosion. Molten salt is corrosive, especially at high temperatures. Developing alloys that can withstand years of operation under intense radiation and chemical exposure remains a challenge. Nickel-based alloys like Hastelloy N are promising, but further testing is essential. Fuel reprocessing thorium MSRs often require online fuel processing to remove fission products and manage the fuel cycle. This chemical infrastructure must be reliable, compact, and safe, something still under development. Licensing and regulation. Most nuclear regulations today are built around pressurized water reactors, not molten salt systems. To commercialize thorium reactors, agencies like the NRC in the U.S. and international bodies must update licensing frameworks, something that may take years. Public perception and investment. Despite its potential, nuclear power faces public skepticism. Thorium may offer a better story, but education, transparency, and visible success stories will be essential to gain trust and attract major capital. The timeline ahead. 2025 to 2027. Small-scale reactors, like Copenhagen Atomics or Thorcon, begin operation in test environments. China begins construction on commercial-scale MSRs. 2028 to 2032. India potentially launches its Advanced Heavy Water Reactor with thorium. Several modular MSRs enter regulatory trials in Europe, and the U.S. supply chains for thorium and salt reprocessing scale up post-2035. Thorium-based reactors could power industrial parks, remote towns, and even shipping fleets. Integration with hydrogen production and energy storage technologies may accelerate decarbonization. The quiet revolution. Thorium reactors aren't just another energy technology. They represent a fundamental rethinking of nuclear power, safer, cleaner, and more efficient. They answer the core objections to traditional reactors, meltdowns, waste, weapons, while offering global energy security from a material that's abundant, underused, and sitting in mining waste. We're witnessing the early stages of a nuclear renaissance. Whether powered by molten salt or solid fuel, the future of thorium is no longer science fiction. It's active development. With visionary research, regulatory will, and public education, thorium reactors could become the cornerstone of clean baseload power for the 21st century. The race is on, and thorium is finally stepping into the spotlight. If you enjoyed what you saw, don't forget to hit the like button and ring the notification bell so you never miss our upcoming videos. Your support means a lot to us. Take care until the next one, and feel free to drop a comment sharing your thoughts. See you soon.